Nice to see you at our 57th market research. And today we will be speaking about gaming infrastructure and gaming overview by Steph. And also, I'll be presenting a recent investment made by 3x Capital just this week, investment in Carv. We talked a bit about it before we were presenting it, but we already invested it. It's a recent opportunity, so I think we can start with you, Steph. So mm, please take a stage and present your presentation.
Sure. Thank you, Slava. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. So, to begin this week's market research, we will talk about the Web3 gaming sector and more specifically, understand how their infrastructure works. Okay. In the first quarter of 2024, we were able to see the resilience of the Web3 gaming sector as it showed strength despite having most of the popular projects declining in the last cycle. If we look at the current state of the sector and look at some of the parameters, we can see that based on the unique active wallets, it was the Web3 gaming that had the most active wallets since last year. And in addition, the gaming sector also has the highest number of transactions in a 1 year time frame. This data from DAP Radar shows the long term uptrend in the gaming industry, which could be a prelude to a much larger movement. One interesting projection was also made by the Animal Brand's co-founder, who sees that they are projecting an influx of up to 100 million gamers by this year, and this surge would be driven by the transition of numerous games from their alpha to and beta stages in the past years to a full commercial launch by this year. Another metric that we can look at for the growth of the industry is its token market, which is now at 24 billion, having started the year at about 18 billion. And fundraising for new Web3 gaming related projects is also booming, with an average monthly fundraising of 98 million. This going trend, just this uptrend just shows that we're really that there is more to come in this gaming industry. Moving on to the top gaming chains. So for Q1 of 2024, we saw Polygon with 1.2 million active wallets. This is due with Polygon having the biggest gaming ecosystems, and Polygon even had a gaming fund partnership with Immutable that aims to raise 100 million for the development of Web3 gaming. It is also good to see Ronin here, which had recent success with the social farming game Pixels, moving to their blockchain. And other chains like Solana also made a comeback in the sector and has released its Game Shift toolkit. It's a toolkit making it easier to integrate the blockchain into the gaming industry. And then BNB Chain and Scale, on the other hand, made technical upgrades, improving the experience for large-scale gaming dApps, and also made partnerships with gaming infrastructure, faster transaction speed, respectively. All right, now that we know the current landscape of the Web3 gaming, let us assess the challenges in in this sector. So, a major challenge that a gaming developer faces entering the Web3 landscape are the complexities of the Web3 infrastructure. So, this stems from different components that comprises the infrastructure a game is built on. So instead of developers being able to focus on the game itself, on its mechanics, they will need to consider the blockchain to build on, the smart contracts to develop, the digital wallets to integrate with, and the game engines to be used. All of this also comes with the standard concerns in the space, in the crypto space, like scalability, the technical complexities, how to gain user adoption, and even regulatory concerns. So here is an interesting table shared by Immutable. Also shows the financial resources needed by a gaming developer to build his own gaming infrastructure. In total, it would amount to $4 million per year if a developer would opt in to develop his own gaming infrastructure. Right. So to understand the gaming infrastructure, let's dissect it per component. First, first component is the blockchain. Choosing the correct blockchain is very important, and as this would serve as the base layer for the game. The focus of the developers are often on the security, the scalability, if there are also cheap transaction costs, and the finality of the chain. I think we can agree that one of the issues for gaming from the previous cycle are the high cost of transaction fees. That is why this past year we see layer 2 scaling solutions for Ethereum to be the.
I believe there is some troubles with Steph. Uh, so I'll check on him. But overall, uh, yeah, Steph is presenting a rather interesting topic right now, and I will be presenting the topic connected to it. So Carv is projects connected with gaming, but uh, so so yeah, that's happens. As it seems that Steph lost his connection, but no worries. I think we can right now jump to my presentation regarding Carv, and then Steph will reconnect and he will continue his presentation. This happens, so give me a minute and I'll start my presentation regarding Carv node sale. Yeah, what is Carv? And recently uh, uh, they have uh, to start talking with 3x Capital and the Carv. Yesterday, Carv had a public note sale round. Maybe someone had seen it already, but we had a chance to participate in their whitelisted rounds. So we were whitelisted to purchase several notes. So what is the Carv and why 3x Capital participated in it? What is key features which we have found, and basically what is the structure of the deal as well. We will discover it today. So the Carv overall itself, it's a versatile data framework, was designed to be in basic infrastructure for gaming, AI, and other niches. And right now, overall, the structure of Carv is built through 5 layers, which are consist of identity layer, which is the top of their ecosystem. So basically, in identity layer, we have their Carv ID, there some, for instance, some verifications, socials, KYC, and other verifications. Then we have storage layer, which facilitates as basically a storage for the data. Then we have a computation and training layer, which is dedicated primarily for artificial intelligence and for training models there. Continuing down there, we have execution layers, which is vital for every blockchain for it to facilitate and to work. And the last is verification layer, which is obvious where we will come as node runners. So we purchase a node to be part of the verification layer and verify basically all the others layer, which is the core part of the Carv. Let's continue here. This is the overall the whole overview of the Carv. What is it? It's shown some resilient traction already. So they had over 2.5 million registered users on their platform called Carv Play. Also, almost 1 million wallets have generated Carv ID, which is the crucial part of their verification layer, which I mentioned before. They are backed by industry leaders as Hashkey Consensus and others. And overall, through the network of their partnerships and connections, they have over 750 games and AI companies which are in any way are connected or running on Carv right now. So what was the sales structure and what are some numbers? Here we won't go really deeply here, but I will just give you an overview how the sale was structured. So right here we see the rough token distribution model for the whole sale and community. So here we see that 50% of whole token supply is dedicated to node runners and community, and to be precise, 25% of whole supply is dedicated for community and 25% of whole supply is dedicated for nodes. And here we see that so their sale was structured in 40 tiers with different valuation spreads. That the main difference between the tiers, different valuations. And the spread was from 100 million to $1 billion. So it's a rather, you might think it's a high valuation spread, but usually there is a low demand on lower tiers, and about how the nodes were concentrated. So it wasn't a even distribution on each tier. So there was a hard concentration on like I think from 100 to $200 million, for instance, valuations. There is like a third of the nodes are concentrated, and also then from 200 to $400 million, there is another third of the nodes concentrated. So as you understand, for higher valuations as $500 million, 450 even, there is around 30% of node there. So there is much more nodes were concentrated on higher tiers. So here we see that node keys are locked for 12 months after the purchase. So what does it mean? After participating in sale, you receive a node key, which will be used to basically run their node to verify your ownership of the node. And after this year, you will be able to transfer it. So why do you need it? Maybe you want to sell the node, maybe you want to leave the investment. So that's an option. And here you can leave the investment. Basically, you're not tied to the node, but you need to keep it for a first year. Additionally, there is a deteriorating reward schedule. So basically, you will receive a lower number of rewards every 6 months. And rewards will be calculated daily, so you will receive rewards every day. However, you will receive them in form of vCarv token. We will right now talk about it. What is vCarv token? So every 6 months, the rate at which rewards are generated will fall by 20%, 25% rate. And with Carv being its native token, vCarv is governance token. So as you understand, you receive your rewards in governance token already, and then you will be able to basically unstake your vCarv token for Carv token. However, there will be several release schedules at which you can do it. So basically, you, for instance, will receive 1,000 vCarv tokens, and there you have several scenarios what you can do with them. At the beginning, you can just unstake them in like short-term unstake schedule in like 15 days, and you will receive only like 60% of whole tokens. So you will receive 600 from 1,000. But if you want to receive a higher sum, the whole sum, you will need to wait around, I believe, 6 months or 3 months. I'll need to double check it, but that's the schedule. So it's a schedule at which you will receive the whole rewards, and if you want to receive rewards faster, you won't receive the whole rewards. Basically, it will be cut at some percentage. And here we see the overall structure of Carv tokenomics, how it works, and basically what happens with unclaimed vcarv, which basically carried. So basically, they're partly they're burned and partly they're converted back to Carv by the network in order to preserve network maintenance. Because as node validator, you don't just receive rewards from this pool of 25%, which I mentioned before, but also you receive rewards, for instance, for transactions, for gas. It's still there, but on top of it, you will receive this 25% rewards pool. Also, let's briefly talk about backers and who joined the rounds before. And overall, the race was 3 rounds for Carv, with rather interesting cap table here. And as you can see, there is a lot of tier ones like Tribe Capital, Hashkey, Consensus as well, and others much smaller venture funds like Draper Dragons or OKX Ventures and others. So it's rather interesting lineup of investors and strong backing. And additionally, as you can see, for instance, that they are supported by Consensus, and you will understand why it is important right now, because they are partnered with Linea. So Linea is their partner, and they are helping Linea to facilitate their gaming projects, for instance, and the same is happening with ZK Sync. So they are partners with their leading product, Carv Play, which looks like just a platform where you launch games. It's, I think, partly close to Steam. They have even several Web2 games presented there. I think the tier 1 games, which are really popular, are presented there. Just a couple, but the main purpose is the Web3 games. So let's talk about the traction and about the partnerships which Carv has secured. And we will start with project which was mentioned by Steph today, called Ronin. And as you might remember already from today, it's the second gaming chain right now in the market, and Carv is one of core partners of the Ronin wallet. And basically using Carv Ronin wallets allows you to receive badges, simplifies your login processes in the game. Also, you can use their infrastructure in order to basically ease up your gameplay in many ways. And Carv really benefited from this partnership because they have received around 400,000 people joined through Ronin Wallet to Carv Play. That's a significant number, and it's one of the biggest partnerships which Carv right now has. And this integration is really encourage game developers and communities to engage more effectively to the Carv ecosystem. Additionally, they have launched some data to earn campaign basically in the end of previous year, which supported soul mining on a Ronin blockchain, with Carv covering the gas fees for minting, where users could earn rewards based on their data, including holdings of their USDT on Axie Infinity. So basically, so if you don't know, also a bit reminder that Ronin is a blockchain developed by people who developed Axie Infinity, one of the biggest Web3 games which exists right now, and that's why it's a key partnership for Carv. So they have already had a big community before, and with this partnership, Carv really enhanced its position in the market. And the next partnership and integration, which is really important, I believe, is Linea, which we can discuss. And I think all of you know which is Linea. What is Linea? Linea is layer 2 developed by Consensus. Right now, I think it's one of the most interesting layer 2s, which is upcoming. I think a lot of people are waiting for its launch. And right now, and we had seen the partnership between Carv and Linea. This collaboration led already to significant upgrades in Carv products. So basically, we can return to data to earn campaign by Carv, and it right now it supports already a linear chain, additionally Zkasync, which I mentioned before, and it allows users to engage to Carve ecosystem with linear, and overall it can boost your rewards in points there. Also, I think it's a good idea just to take a look at how the Carve play looks like, because Carve play is the platform which it's right now the core product of whole Carve ecosystem, and I think it's crucial to take a look at it just to understand what is it, because there is several other products which are presented in Carve ecosystem, and I just can briefly mention it's Carve AI agent and Carve portal, and it's uh, built with Carve Play on top of Carve Protocol, but Carve Protocol is the biggest one. It's the one who holds users. So let's just have a quick look how it's looks like. So basically, it's just a platform which is built for gamers in order to just play games. You can choose games here, and as you can see, there is a Steam connection, which I believe really crucial. So there is not many games from Steam, but it's I think one of the most important games, like Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I think everybody have heard of them, Dota 2, and others. They are connected to Carve, so basically you can play these games and connect to Carve and be active on blockchain, and this is really impressive right now. And this partnership with connection with Steam is really interesting. And there is several games also which are presented on blockchain, and yeah, right now that's how it looks like. And there are some games which are upcoming as well. Additionally, Carve protocol facilitates a lot of games to be built on. That's why it is so exciting to use. But as you understood, that's a really interesting opportunity, and maybe you right now understood that you wanted to participate in it if you had known earlier. And basically, we have a solution how to do it. There is a really easy solution how you can monitor such sales and join them at earlier. So Trix Capital has its own investment club where we connect a network of angel investors in order to invest in different stage projects and some projects which we have and which we can offer to a community. And for instance, Carv was offered to investment club, and some club members invested in it earlier, uh, comparing to, for instance, public rounds. Because on public rounds, usually you have high pressure, a little time to buy anything. You need to move quickly. But here we offer the easy solution. Additionally, we can maintain your node. We can work on your node easily, and we can help you to choose the project, to analyze it. So that's what we can do. So if you're interested to further investments, for instance, in nodes, in other projects, join Trix Club. We'll be sharing the link later as well, and this article will be shared as well. And I think we can also wait for Steph a couple of minutes. If he is able to join, I'm ask him right now whether he is able to join. If he is not able, I think we'll need to wrap up this meeting, and sadly we will miss a big chunk of content which Steph prepared, and it's really exciting content about gaming infrastructure. And I think it is really unfortunate which what has happened. Steph said that electricity went out, so not the best scenario, but that happens. We are all humans, especially in today's world. It might happen really at many places. So I think that's it. But as I understand, Steph is not able to join at the moment, sadly. So we will be wrapping up this meeting at this point due to this misfortune. But still, I'll just remind about our investment club and the Carv investments. Maybe let's review some key highlights, what we can see here. So overall, the key highlights, I think it's the backers, which are really nice combination of different venture capital, also different groups like Alibaba Cloud. I think it's not traditional Web3 investor, which is also backing the Carv, and also some expertise from investors as Consensus and Hashkey Capital, which is crucial for such projects. Additionally, there is a good traction and key partnerships which Carv has achieved before. And that's, I think, the key factors which are needed currently for such type of projects, because the core part for many node investments, and I personally believe that's the case, that the project in which you invest should have some traction in it, some potential transactions, basically, because you as a node operator, you won't also receive just rewards. You will receive some rewards on top of dedicated node rewards section. You will receive gas fees, etc., and this basically keeps the network alive. And here as a node operator, I think the first who is interested to have an active network. That's why it is really important to choose good projects which you will support with your node infrastructure. But if you don't have node infrastructure but still want to invest in nodes, please check out our investment club, where we can help you to handle this situation. We can run our nodes and work together in order to achieve success in the space. So I think so. Steph replies that electricities haven't returned yet. So I think we will be wrapping up, sadly, this market research without Steph. But I think we will be covering this topic next week, because it's a really interesting topic which should be covered and also connected to Carv. We just saw a good fit here with gaming and Carv being a gaming focused blockchain, but sadly it hasn't happened. So thank you very much. Also, I see the questions. So I see the questions from Dima. So let me check. There is a question: how much did Carv raise on public round so far? That's a great question, and I think it can be calculated, but I assume from the numbers which I have, it's at least $40 million, which is a big amount. But I think it's probably not actual data. They raised more at this moment, because I just remember it from yesterday's calculation. Haven't take a look today. I think the situation might have changed, and there is much more interest currently. So that's a great question, which we right now have. But at least I think $50 million, which is one of the biggest node sales so far. So regarding other node sales, there is a couple which happened. Maybe you have heard of them. I think the biggest was Aether, with which, by the way, Carv is also planning to partner. So Aether, they have raised $140 million on nodes. That's insane. Additionally, there was a Sophone with $70 million node sale. And I think the first one which pioneered this thing was Xai, with not as big node sale as it looks right now. It's like around $35 million. That's still a lot comparing to traditional even rounds, and it was just raised from public. It's really important to understand there is more than $30 million raised from public, and that's really interesting to see how projects start to develop new ways to raise capital and involve their community into the infrastructure and maintaining it. Yeah, I think that answers the question. Overall, thank you very much. Sadly, Steph isn't able to. Steph just messaged that electricity is back. So let's wait a couple of minutes for him to join, and we will have the continuation of today's market research. So That's great news for us. So yes, Steph has joined. Hi, Steph. Nice to see you back. But
Hey guys, I'm back.
yeah, so I've presented my presentation on Carv, and please continue your presentation on gaming projects. Also, chat, please let us know if any questions here. We will be answering them in the end after the presentations. And yeah, that's mainly it.
Is my
So
screen showing again?
yes, yes, it works well.
All
So
right, so I
please take
think
the stage, Steph.
I stop here.
Yeah, it was around here.
Okay, so going back to sorry guys again. Electricity went out, so going back to the current landscape of the Web3 gaming infrastructure. So to understand the gaming infrastructure, let's dissect it per component. The first one being the blockchain. So choosing the correct blockchain is crucial for developers, especially as this would serve as the base layer for the game itself. The focus of the developers are often on the security, the scalability, and the cheap transaction costs of the chosen blockchain. And we can agree that one of the issues for gaming from the previous cycle is the high cost of transaction fees. That is why this past year we see the layer 2 scaling choice for gaming developers. Notable layer 2 rollups includes Arbitrum through their Arbitrum Orbit infrastructure, ZK Sync being part of the ZK hyperchain, and of course Immutable, which could be either to Immutable X, so the original Immutable, which is an optimized game specific ZK rollup, or the Immutable ZK EVM, which is the EVM compatible ZK rollup for the games. So the Immutable X ZK Immutable ZK EVM is the chain that has smart contracts enabled. The next component is NFT and smart contracts infrastructure. As I mentioned here, it is quite straightforward as they are launched on blockchains. The important thing here is the chosen blockchain should be able to offer comprehensive solutions for managing the NFTs and deploying smart contracts, which are critical for tokenizing assets and automating game functions. The next one are the game engines. What game engine is it's a software framework or a toolkit employed by developers to execute the game itself. So the game engine is one the scripting and even the AI behaviors and other functions into the game. So in simple terms, game engine is like your movie studio where the films are produced. The last component is the SDK and the API blockchain wrappers. So SDKs or the software development kit and APIs, which is the application programming interfaces, are tools that simplifies the integration of blockchains and the communication between the game itself and the blockchain components. Oftentimes, Web3 games focus blockchains like Immutable X have already their SDK and API tools readily available. But here are some independent SDK providers like Anchor, uh, Venly, and Sequence Gaming Infrastructure. Let's now use what we've learned about infrastructure to do a simple case study on Illuvium. So for Illuvium, looking at its blockchain, it's built on Ethereum with integration with Immutable X for the NFT trading. And for the game engine, the nice graphics from Illuvium is because of they are using Unreal Engine 5. As for the SDKs, they are connected by through the Alchemy SDK and through integration with Immutable X. All right. So to conclude the discussion on Web3 gaming, as we monitor the continuous development in the Web3 gaming space, especially in the trend towards a more robust infrastructure, it could be argued that the future still relies developers uh, on how developers could be able to abstract the blockchain complexities with a focus on centricity and how it could produce a more enjoyable game that would bring in more organic adoption, which is different from the predatory and unsustainable approach of a play to earn focused game that we saw from the last cycle. All right, so that ends my market overview for gaming, and I hope that I was able to provide value to you guys.
Thanks, Steph, very much. Sadly, you were interrupted by electricity cut, but that
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, I think that happens. Please chat, let us know if there is any question to me or Steph regarding to me or to me regarding the Carv, or to Steph regarding the gaming infrastructure and gaming overview. Uh, was really insightful to hear from you, Steph. What do you think is, I think, the most? What is your like view on the gaming overall in Web three? What do you think will influence it the most, and uh, I think what will be the main catalyst of its growth, because right now it's still, I think it's not in the shape as it could be.
Right. For me, to be honest, I'm not really a gaming guy, but when I was doing the this research about gaming industry, what the difference that I saw from the previous cycle was the focus on the gaming industry now is more on developing the infrastructure rather than building the game itself. So I think that comes with the maturity in the space, having to know what were the issues and what were the challenges from the previous cycle, especially for the play to earn economics of several games. That is why right now it's more on the infrastructure, so that the games that would be deployed on blockchain would be scalable and would be much more sustainable in terms of uh, in terms of the technicalities and the complexities, so that more game developers could opt into the Web3 gaming space rather than developing on the Web2 space. For me, what I'm really waiting for is to have that IP game that is probably existing in the Web2 space and then would like to transition to a Web3 gaming chain. I think that would be a bullish news for the gaming industry, as it would bring more users, more believers of the gaming industry, of the traditional gaming industry, to the Web3 counterpart. To the Web3 counterpart. How about you, Saba?
Yeah, I think I agree at the last version of your statement here, that I believe that without any like maybe AAA web just gaming projects, Web two gaming projects,
Mm-hmm.
which are coming to Web three, we won't see, I think, a dramatic change here. Just because I personally believe that gaming is a large gateway for users just
Right.
to come to Web3 from Web2 with no knowledge of Web3. I believe that's a great tool which can do so. But in order to do so, we will need to basically influence a lot of people which are already playing Web2 games, and why should they basically change their Web2 games to Web3 games? And I believe it will happen only if some large title will go so. And at first, its fan base will go to Web3, and then other titles will start doing
Right.
it. That's, I
I
think.
think I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to add
Go on.
also that uh, gamers and users of gaming related D apps as well uh, should know that there are some gaming chains or gaming projects that use the traditional gaming institutions, the brand of the gaming institution, just for marketing, and there's no really partnership involved, or there's no really a structured partnership involved that relates to the game. So it's just more of a marketing of or a promotional activity for them. So I'm really looking forward to those partnerships that has a game involved. Like there's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
esports tournament rather than just the brand of the esports sponsors that's shown
yeah, yeah.
in their website.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about different types of Web3 games? Because as I know, there is basically three main types of Web3 games. The first is fully on-chain game, is basically every action in the game being on-chain. The second type is the partially on-chain game with core actions being on-chain, but uh, some, for instance, engine being off-chain calculated, and there is basically the less integrated to Web3 game, which will use, for instance, just the currency to build its market, but all the other stuff will be basically off-chain. And yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think is, I think, the best way for games to go?
Oh, right. Good question. I think, for me, I think if we're looking at the point of view of scalability, the last type of game that you mentioned would be the most scalable, being the game itself is off chain and then more of the NFT economy or the trading of its NFTs in game is done on chain. So I think for me, the scalability and on how uh, the gaming industry could onboard more users would be on that type of game. So like if if I would imagine things like a game that is launched on Steam and then it would integrate with uh, Ethereum, for example, or OpenSea. Like its NFTs in game would be tradable through OpenSea. So that could be a great gateway for gamers to be uh, introduced to the Web3 aspect of gaming.
Yeah, I think I agree with you here because I believe the main value which Web3 brings to gaming, because I think overall there is the one main reason why games should be Web3 in general is just the possibility for players to build the economy.
Right,
That's the basic reason, and I think there is no hard reason really and strong reason to go for games to go on chain because it's just will mm, sim- uh, make the production more complex, and that's I
right,
think it's not the best way. However, I just know the policy of the Steam partly, and for instance, I believe that's a big problem also for gaming. That's for instance, such platforms as Steam are not interested in Web3 games
right,
because they have their own marketplace. Why do you need some NFTs objects to be sold on OpenSea if there is a Steam marketplace at which Steam will have like their 20-30% cuts, and that's it. And
right.
that I believe a big uh, bump road, like a roadblock for
At the
Web3
end of
games
the
to develop.
day, they wanted to own. They still wanted to own that items in their platform, and they
Yeah.
don't want to give that ownership their own economy on chain.
Yes, that's I think the issue which might be the case here. Yeah, overall, thanks, Steph, very much. Haven't seen any questions coming up here, so I think we'll be wrapping up this meeting. Thanks very much again, Steph. Thanks very much, everyone who joined. So let us know if there is any question, like the last call. And
Right,
I think we'll be overall wrapping up this meeting for today. Just a reminder regarding our investment club and that if you're interested to invest in some new opportunities in nodes in Web3, uh, join it and we can help you to be part of Web3 here. So yeah, once again, thanks everyone, and uh, wish everyone to have a good day. Thanks, Steph, as well.